Hello everyone! Today is a new day, new life, new beginning, and new lesson. Once again, I'm Teacher Angie. Our lesson for today is about direct variation. Ano nga ba ang direct variation? A simple relationship between two variables. The statements y varies directly as x, y is proportional to x, and y is directly proportional to x may be translated mathematically as y is equal to kx, where k is the constant of variation and y and x are two given variables. So, y is equal to kx dito ang pinaka-equation natin. To solve for k, you can use the equation k is equal to y over x. So, paano natin nakuha ito? Na-derive ang k is equal to y over x from our original equation y is equal to kx. For two quantities, x and y, an increase in x causes an increase in y, as well as, similarly, a decrease in x causes a decrease in y. So, ito ay para sa direct variation. Direct square variation. Ano naman ang direct square variation? The expression y varies directly as the square of x can be expressed through the equation y is equal to kx squared, where k is the constant of variation, that is, the ratio between y and x squared, and y is directly proportional to x squared. So, pareho sila sa direct variation. Ang pagkakaiba lang nila ay yung squared. So, to solve for k, you can use the equation k is equal to y over x squared. Example A, write an equation for the following statements. Number 1, the fare F of a passenger varies directly as the distance d of her destination. Remember the term varies directly as. Okay? So, ang F is varies directly as d. So, the equation is F is equal to KD. Don't forget to put the K. Remember, K is always constant. Laging andyan yan. Number 2, the cost C of fish is directly proportional as the weight W in kilograms. So, we will use C and W. Another clue, kung ano yung naunang binanggit, yun ang mauuna natin isulat gaya ng nauna. So, we have C is equal to KW. Number 3, the area A of a triangle is proportional to its height. Again, A ang naunang binanggit, at of course, H ang nahuli, kaya unahin natin ang A. So, A now is equal to KH. Number 4, an employee's salary S varies directly as the number of days D she has worked. S is equal to KD. Number 5, the area A of a square varies directly as the square of its side. Kung napapansin nyo, mayroon tayong dalawang term na square dito. Yung square nandito, tsaka yung square nandito. Okay? Yung square na binanggit sa una, ito ay yung square sa polygon. And then yung square sa pangalawa, ito yung squared na exponent. Okay? So, our equation is A is equal to S squared. Kasi, as square of its S. That's why meron tayong S squared dito. Okay? So, be careful with the terms that is used. Example, letter B. Write an equation where y varies directly as x. Find the constant k. Main equation natin, which is y varies directly as x. First example, number 1, y is equal to 28 when x is equal to 7. So, ang equation natin ay y is equal to kx from here. And then, para makuha natin si k, i-divide natin ang main equation by x. Kung ano yung katabi ni k, yun ang i-divide natin both sides from here and here. So, meron tayong y over x is equal to kx over x. And then, of course, para ma-isolate si k, i-cancel natin si x and x dito. So, ang natira ay si k is equal to y over x. So, ito na ang equation ng ating solution for k. Then, of course, substitute the given. K is equal to, y natin is 28 over x is 7. So, 28 over 7. And 28 divided by 7 is equal to 4. Number 2, find k when x is equal to 0.4 and y is equal to 0.8. Equation for k is equal to y over x. Then substitute the given. K is equal to 0.7 divided by 0.4 is equal to 1.75. Number 3, k is equal to 10 and x is equal to 24. K is equal to y over x. So substitute the given. Y is equal to 10. Oh, sorry for that. This must be y, not k. And then, x is equal to 24. Paano natin ilo-lowest term si 10 over 24? So, 10 over 24 ay may common factor. Ang common factor nila ay 2. So, kailangan natin silang i-divide ng 2 both numerator and denominators. 10 divided by 2 is equal to 5 and 24 divided by 2 is 12. Therefore, we have 5 over 12. Next, number 4, y is equal to 400 when x is equal to 25. Our equation for constant, k is equal to y all over x. Then substitute the given. Y is equal to 400 and x is equal to 25. 400 divided by 25 is equal to 16. Therefore, our k is equal to 16. Practice. Solve the following. Find the unknown. Letter A. If y varies directly as x and y is 36 when x is equal to 9, what will be the value of x when y is equal to 48? Ano ang gagawin natin? Una, of course, kailangan nating kunin ang kanilang given. So, our y sub 1 is 36, y sub 2 is 48, and x sub 1 is 9, and x sub 2 is our unknown. So, isulat natin ang question mark. Next step, of course, kunin natin ang equation. So, y varies directly as x. Therefore, we have y is equal to kx. And our equation for constant, we have k is equal to y all over x. So, diniscuss ko na sa inyo kanina kung paano i-convert ang constant from the original equation. Solving for k, we have k is equal to y sub 1 over x sub 1. Next, substitute. K now is equal to y is 36 and x is equal to 9. And 36 divided by 9 is equal to 4. Therefore, our k is equal to 4. To solve x sub 2, of course, we need to write our equation for variation. Pero this time, kailangan natin isulat ang sub 2. Okay? So, y sub 2 now is equal to k and x sub 2. Then, substitute the given. Ang y sub 2 natin is 48 is equal to ang k is 4. So, we have 4 and then x sub 2. And then, para ma-isolate si x sub 2, kailangan natin i-divide both sides by 4. Kung ano yung katabi ng variable, yun ang i-divide natin both sides. So, 48 divided by 4 is equal to 4x sub 2 divided by 4. I-cancel na natin si 4 at saka si 4. Kaya ang natira ay si x sub 2. So, we have now x sub 2 is equal to 48 divided by 4 is equal to 12. We have another solution. Paano? Gagamit tayo ngayon ng ratio and proportion. by using y sub 1 over x sub 1 is equal to y sub 2 over x sub 2 since ito ay direct proportion. Okay? Or direct variation. So, direct variation and direct proportion are the same. So, ito na siya. Next, substitute natin ang given. So, we have now 36 over 9 is equal to 48 over x sub 2. Then, after that, kunin natin ang kanilang cross product. So, we have 36 times x sub 2 and 9 times 48. Then, to isolate x sub 2, again, divide natin both sides by the number beside x sub 2, which is 36. Cancel na yan. Cancel na din to. Kaya ang x sub 2 natin ay 432 divided by 36. And the answer is 12. So, kung napapansin ninyo, using ration proportion, pareho lang sila kung gagamitin natin ang equation ng variation. If y is proportional to x, and x is equal to 35 when y is equal to 7, what is the value of y when x is equal to 25? Y sub 1 is 7, x sub 1 is 35, y sub 2 is the unknown, and x sub 2 is our 25. Solution, y is equal to kx. Why? Y is proportional to x. That is for our variation, and the same, our constant is equal to k is equal to y over x. For our constant, we will use k is equal to y sub 1 over x sub 1. Then substitute. K now is equal to 7 over 35. So 7 and 35 are both divisible by 7. So i-divide natin both numerator and denominator by 7. Therefore, we have 7 divided by 7 is 1 and 35 divided by 7 is equal to 5. Therefore, our final answer is 1/5. Solving for y sub 2, we will use equation y sub 2 is equal to k x sub 2. Then substitute the given. Y sub 2 is equal to, ang k natin is 1/5 multiplied by our x sub 2, which is 25. And then, dito, kung nakikita ninyo, si 5 and 25 are factorable. And pwede silang i-cancel. Bakit? Kasi whole number and fraction. And 5 is the denominator. So, pwede natin silang i-cancel para lowest term na kaagad ang sagot natin. So, 5 divided by 5 is 1. And 25 divided by 5 is 5. And then, next, 1 times 5 is equal to 5, and 5 divided by 1 is equal to 5. Therefore, our y sub 2 is equal to 5. Another solution, y sub 1 over x sub 1 is equal to y sub 2 over x sub 2. Then substitute, we have 7 over 35 is equal to y sub 2 over 25. Then, of course, cross product, 35 times y sub 2 and 7 times 25. Then we have 35 y sub 2 is equal to 7 times 25. Then after that, kailangan natin i-isolate si y sub 2 kaya i-divide natin both sides by 35. So we have 175. Then ika-cancel na natin si 35 and 35. So, meron na tayong y sub 2 is equal to 175 divided by 35, which is 5. So, kung napapansin ninyo, magkapareho lang sila ng sagot for y sub 2, okay? If A is directly proportional to B and A is equal to negative 18, when B is equal to 9, what will be the value of A when B is equal to 7? Next, of course, we need to find the given first. A sub 1, negative 18. A sub 2, unknown. And B sub 1 is 9. B sub 2 is 7. Then, of course, our equation for variation, A is equal to KB. Okay, from this. And our constant k is equal to a over b. And then for our first solution, finding for k is equal to a sub 1 over b sub 1. And then substitute k is equal to negative 18 divided by 9. Rules ng dividing unlike sign, negative divided by positive is negative. Therefore, our final answer is negative, and then 18 divided by 9 is 2. Next, solving for a sub 2, our unknown. A sub 2 is equal to k b sub 2. And then substitute. A sub 2 is equal to k is negative 2 times 7. So our a sub 2, multiplying unlike sign, the answer is always negative. So negative 7 times 2 is 14. Next, solution using ratio and proportion. So we have a sub 1 over b sub 1 is equal to a sub 2 over b sub 2. Then substitute. Our a sub 1 is negative 18 divided by b sub 1 is 9 is equal to a sub 2, which is our unknown, divided by b sub 2, which is 7. Then cross product. 9 times a sub 2 and then 7 times negative 18. So we have 9a sub 2 is equal to negative 18 times 7. If y is directly proportional to x squared and y is equal to 8, when x is equal to 3, find y when x is equal to 5. Given a sub 1 is 8, y sub 2 is unknown, and x sub 1 is 3, x sub 2 is 5. Equation. For our variation, we have y is equal to x squared. Okay, this is already an example of direct square variation. And for our constant, k is equal to y sub 1 over x sub 1 squared. Next solution, of course, solving for k, kopyahin lang natin ito. So k is equal to y sub 1 over x sub 1 squared. Then substitute. K is equal to 8 all over 3. And then, of course, don't forget the squared. Following PEMDAS, kailangan muna natin gawin ang squared. So 3 squared is 9. And then, of course, 8. So we have 8 all over 9. And remember that 8 over 9 cannot be lowest term anymore. Next, solving for the unknown, which is y sub 2. Then using the equation, y sub 2 is equal to k, x sub 2 squared. So ginamit natin ang y is equal to kx squared. The only difference, in-specify natin ang y sub 2 and x sub 2. Kasi gagamitin natin ito. Okay? Substitute, of course, ang k is 8 over 9. X sub 2 is 5. So we have 5 here and then so we have 5 here and then squared. So, kailangan mo nating i-squared si 5. Kaya 5 squared is equal to 25 times 8 over 9. Next, y sub 2 now is equal to, i-multiply natin si numerator at saka si whole number. So, 8 times 25 is 200 all over 9. And 200 divided by 9 is equal to 22.22. Next solution, gamitin natin ang ratio and proportion. So we have y sub 1 over x sub 1 squared is equal to y sub 2 over x sub 2 squared. So ano nga ba ang y sub 1? 8. And then x sub 1, 3. And then of course squared is equal to y sub 2 all over ang x sub 2 is 5 and then squared. Simplify muna natin sila. So 8 over 3 squared is 9 is equal to y sub 2 over 5 squared is 25. Cross product. So 9 times y sub 2 is equal to 8 times 25. Then, para ma-isolate si y sub 2, kailangan nating i-divide both sides by 9. So, pwede na nating i-cancel si 9 at saka si 9. So, 8 times 25 is 200. Then divided by 9, so we have now y sub 2 is equal to 22.5. Pareho lang sila ng sagot. The value of y varies directly as the square of x. If y is equal to 27 when x is equal to 3, what will be the value of y when x is equal to 7? So we need to find the given first. Y sub 1 is 27, y sub 2 is the unknown, and x sub 1 is 3, x sub 2 is 7. Then we will find the equation. Y varies directly as x squared. So we have y is equal to kx squared for the variation. And for the constant, we have k is equal to y sub 1 all over x sub 1 squared. For our solution in finding k, we have k is equal to y sub 1 over x sub 1 squared. Then substitute the given. K is equal to 27 divided by 3 squared. So, kailangan muna natin gawin ang 3 squared. So, we have now k is equal to 27 all over 9. Therefore, we have k is equal to 27 divided by 9 is equal to 3. Next, solving for y sub 2. We have y sub 2 is equal to k x sub 2 squared. Galing dito. So, ginamit lang natin ang y sub 2 kasi itong gagamitin natin. Next, substitute y sub 2 is equal to 3 for our k and x sub 2 is 7 and then squared. Again, kailangan muna natin gawin ang exponent by following the PEMDAS. Therefore, we have y sub 2 is equal to 3 times 49. And then 3 times 49 is equal to 147. Therefore, our y sub 2 is 147. Next solution, we're going to use ratio and proportion. So, y sub 1 over x sub 1 squared is equal to y sub 2 over x sub 2 squared. Then, substitute the given. 27 over 3 squared is equal to y sub 2 over 7 squared. So, kailangan muna nating isimplify ito by performing the exponent. Therefore, we have 27 over 9 is equal to y sub 2 over 49. Next, cross product 27 times 49 and 9 times y sub 2. So we have 9 y sub 2 is equal to 27 times 49. And then kailangan muna nating isolate si 9. Paano? By dividing both sides by 9. So, meron na tayo dito. So, i-cancel na natin iyan, tsaka yan, para matira si y sub 2. And then 27 times 49 is 1,323, of course, divided by 9. Therefore, our final answer is y sub 2 is equal to 147. So, pareho lang sila ng sagot. If y is proportional to x squared and x is equal to 36, when y is equal to 3, find x when y is equal to 24. So, find the given first. Y sub 1 is 3. Y sub 2 is 24. And x sub 1 is 36 and x sub 2 is the unknown. Then, of course, make an equation. So, y is proportional to x squared. So, y is equal to kx squared for our variation. And for our k, we have k is equal to y sub 1 over x sub 1 squared. Solving for k, we will use k is equal to y sub 1 over x sub 1 squared and then substitute the given. Y sub 1 is 3 all over x sub 1 is 36 squared. Unahin natin ang 36 squared. So, we have k is equal to 3 over 1,296. And 1,296 and 3 are both divisible by 3. Kaya i-divide natin sila ng 3. So, 3 divided by 3 is equal to 1 and 1,296 divided by 3 is 432. So, our k is 1 over 432. Solving for the unknown x sub 2, we will use y sub 2 is equal to k x sub 2 squared. Then substitute the given. y sub 2 is equal to 24 is equal to k is equal to 1 over 432 times x sub 2 squared. So to isolate x sub 2, we're going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal of 1 over 432, which is 432. So, eto na siya. Cancel na si 432 and 432. Kaya ang natira ay 1 times x sub 2 squared, which is x sub 2 squared. And then, multiply 432 times 24, which is 10,368. So, how to extract square here? So, kailangan nating mag-isip muna ng number na factor ng 10,368 na yung isang number ay perfect square. So, meron tayong 5,184 times 2. Ang 5,184 ay 72 squared. So, meron tayo nito. Okay? So, extract na natin ang square by putting radical sign both sides. So, ika-cancel na natin si radical sign at saka yung squared. And then, yung squared ng 72 and of course, the radical sign. So, ang natira ay si x sub 2. At of course, ilalabas na natin ang perfect squared which is 72. At yung matitira na hindi perfect cube ay nasa loob pa rin ng radical sign. Therefore, our final answer ay x sub 2 is equal to 72 square root of 2. Next solution using ratio and proportion. So we have y sub 1 over x sub 1 squared is equal to y sub 2 over x sub 2 squared. Then substitute 3 over 36 squared is equal to 24 over x sub 2 squared. Kailangan muna nating i-simplify si 36 squared. So we have 3 over 1,296 is equal to 24 over x sub 2 squared. Then next, cross product, 1,296 times 24 and 3 times x sub 2 squared. So we have 3x sub 2 squared is equal to 24 times 1,296. So we have now 3x sub 2 squared is equal to 31,104. Next, isolate x sub 2 squared by dividing both sides by 3. So cancel na si 3 at saka si 3. So x sub 2 squared is equal to 31,104 divided by 3, which is 10,368. The same step dito. So, mag-isip muna tayo ng factor ng 10,368 na ang factor na isa ay perfect squared. So, we have 5,184 times 2. Ang 5,184 ay 72 squared. After that, extract na natin si square by putting radical sign both sides. So, we have now square root of x sub 2 squared and square root of 72 squared times 2. So, yung mga perfect squared, ika-cancel na natin. So, squared is squared, and then squared ito, and then this is perfect. So, si 72, since perfect squared siya, so ilalabas na natin outside the radical sign, at saka yung remainder or yung hindi perfect squared, yung 2 ay nasa loob pa rin ng radical sign. So, we have now x sub 2 is equal to 72 and then square root of 2. Kung nakikita ninyo, pareho sila ng sagot. That's all for today. I hope you learned something from this video. Please do subscribe, watch, like, and share. Thanks. Keep safe and God bless us all. Bye.